So it's the Indie Miners Christmas episode. We've been looking forward to this one. What we're going to be doing today is going through our viewer suggestions for album of the year, and hopefully out of that we'll get a potentially a diamond in the rough. Diamond being potentially the operative word. Good morning to you, Al. Merry Christmas. I don't know, I'm kind of excited about this.
Good morning, BJ. Yeah, geez, it's a real mixed bag that we've got to share with our viewers today. A Merry Christmas to one and all. Let's get into it.
Number one today is actually probably a number one guy, AV Kid. Look, good day to you, sir. He's been with us pretty much the whole time, but he's given us one by a Sydney Australian band called GT. The album's called Prehistoric Chrome. Sort of a punk synth outfit, reminds me of sort of some early 80s influences, some punk rock influences from the 90s. Did you get to listen to this one, mate?
I did, mate, and it reminds me a little bit, just a tiny bit of the chat. So it's really interesting, isn't it, how some of our viewers follow us for the different albums that we review, but really this is something different that we've never really kind of reviewed. So thank you, AV Kid. I'm going to give this album a bit of a listen. Actually, it's short, it's sharp. I kind of like it.
There is a bit of a backstory to this. So, Al, they're putting this album up as one of the albums of the decade so far. Personally, I'm getting addicted to it. I actually like it. I think this is really, really cool. We've actually had two people nominate this once. Do you listen to this? What do you think? I'm kind of excited by this album.
I'm interested in why you're excited. I struggled with it a bit. I've only given it a bit of a listen. It's a massive album.
It is.
And I don't know whether it is just polarizing, whether you absolutely love it or really just don't get it. I'm kind of sitting more in I'm not a massive fan of it, but I'm interested in your thoughts as to why people are really getting into this and possibly calling it the album of the decade.
Yeah. Well, I must admit, I haven't listened to the whole thing, so I've been getting into it, and then I got told to turn it off. So how do you describe it? A bit of sort of, I'd say, shotgun, spaghetti, psychedelia. So Ghost Woman comes to mind. We've reviewed Ghost Woman a couple of times on the show. We really loved Ghost Woman. There was a bit of, I don't know, T-Rex grooviness, especially in some of the bass lines. But there's more than that, and I saw a live film clip as well from YouTube for this. It's just got a very good vibe to it, but people are nominating this as one of the greatest. It's almost sort of, for me, it's sort of almost a neutral milk hotel, sort of almost like a new age Dark Side of the Moon, where it's very much a concept album and one that sort of demands people to listen to from end to end. But I must admit, I need the 2 hours. I haven't had the 2 hours to get through it, but let us know in the comments. I am actually starting to really, really like it. It's probably down my alley, but I know, Al, I think you're scratching your head, and I reckon there's a lot of other people.
I think I'm going to need to give it a good go, private listening, and to do it justice, I think, mate.
Next one on our list, Matthew Davis, 8811. He's one of our original listeners. Did you listen to this one? This is a sort of a post-punky, almost like a backing band with a female singer type of a vibe. And the backing band are kind of very proficient, especially the bass player. I think he likes to probably show off a little bit. He's a little bit sort of too flashy for me. I'm in the old school, sort of the bass player should be in the background. But I don't know. Did you have a listen to that?
Yeah, look, it's really interesting, isn't it? First of all, the name Gut Health, how appropriate for two blokes in their 40s looking after their guts as we get into our middle age, mate. But I like it. I like to hear a band that actually has bass up the front and really good riffs. So for me, this is a winner, mate. Matthew Davis, I'm going to give this album a listen just for you.
Were you ever a big fan of Marilyn Manson, mate?
Oh, mate, The Beautiful People, one of the greatest songs of the 90s. And I'm going to give this song credit, mate. As sick as The Secrets Within, his voice is still holding up pretty well. And look, it's a good song. So, sorry, who actually recommended this one, mate? Because hats off to you, whoever.
So this was Kurt Sanchez Music. So he is somebody who has posted comments quite regularly for us. So good day to you and Merry Christmas again.
Yeah.
A lot of people are actually liking the comment that Kurt put up. So there is a lot of people who are seeing this as a really good album from Marilyn Manson. So let's get on to the next one. So Lizzy MC Alpine, Older is the name of the album. She is 25 years old. We haven't really checked out Lizzy all that much, but had a singer-songwriter vibe to her style. So I think folk might be one thing that comes up, sort of indie folk. Andy Shelf was a name that I thought of with a couple of her songs, and I don't know if anyone's heard of our Andy Shelf, but please check out that his back catalogue is very good, but like especially with some of the sort of Paul Simon-esque turns that I think she had on a couple of tracks in the middle of the album, I thought were quite interesting. But what did you think?
Yeah, look, I thought it was okay. This particular track, Older, is good, but it's not really blowing my skirt up. So I'm just wondering whether the rest of the album has particular really good tracks on it. I mean, it's good. It's kind of a little bit middle of the road for what it is for me. I'm a massive fan of female artists at the moment with Lana Del Rey and Billie Eilish especially, but this for me just didn't quite do it.
Okay, the next one, Hawk of GP, Mount Eerie Night Palace. Now, did a little bit of research on the guy from Mount Eerie. He happened to actually be married to Michelle Williams, so the actor. That's probably a bit of a backstory, but he's been around for quite a while. I haven't actually listened to a lot of his back catalogue. Not sure. Sort of indie folk, experimental vibe. Not sure. What were you thinking?
Yeah, when I first played, I thought it was going to go down like a Mac DeMarco kind of road, but it is a little bit different. And again, I think I'm going to have to listen to this album more in its entirety because the particular track I Walk Alone, it is good, but I'm wondering if it fits within the album more than an isolated single, because for me it was okay, but a shout out to, who are we shouting out to this one, mate?
Hawk of GP we're shouting out to.
So thank you so much for recommending this song, and I think like previous tracks that we've looked at today, I think it's going to be a bit of a slow burner and possibly do the album justice rather than a single.
Swinging on a hammock all day long.
Next one, we're at Stephen Holly 508, 86 TVs. Now, I listened to this. This was interesting. It was a little bit up and about.
For those people who know me well, I love this kind of music. Almost, it's hard to put a finger on how to describe it, yet it sounds so poppy and popular. Mate, this is the real find off this list for me.
Okay, the next one, Lukingham 7252. Good day to you, sir. I hope everything is well. Merry Christmas. Alkaline Trio. Now, Blood, Hair and Eyeballs. This is the new record from them. There's been a few people who have actually come up and nominated this one for their album of the year. Alkaline Trio is one that I haven't listened to quite so much, but I mean, for those that haven't listened to it, you'd say probably a goth punk type of a style. there's elements of Blink 182 and Green Day, and there's probably other ones who are a little bit more probably sophisticated in knowing and understanding the genre. But the lead singer actually was Matt Skiba, was actually playing with Blink 182 up until recently, before Tom DeLonge rejoined the band, so he was out of the band for a little while. I didn't mind this album, actually. I didn't mind it. I thought that for somebody who hasn't listened to a lot of Alkaline Trio, it's actually not a bad reference point to jump into the band, which is actually quite interesting to say, given that they've been around for 20, 25 years.
Oh, I definitely agree with you there, mate. They've been around since the mid-90s. First of all, I was hugely surprised that they were still releasing stuff, but this is a great song. My question for Luke would be, is this one you're going to be playing at the Christmas dinner table, mate? There's a few naughty words in there, but that's all right. Maybe Mum and Dad will be all right with that. But I think it's a great entry point to maybe listen to the further back catalogue of this band, mate. So thank you, Luke, for this recommendation.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine after a few bottles of wine. Next one on the list is Granddaddy. Now, this one's come in from Gore and Lisa, again, one of our, probably our original fans. I think Goran's a fan of Indie Miners. I'll call him that. Granddaddy Blue Wave. Now, Granddaddy is an interesting band, right? Like, I think that for me, I haven't spent enough time listening to it. So the Crystal Lake, like I used to love that song. There's a few other songs, but I just never got really deep into the back catalogue, and I need to. And I think this is reminding me that I really need to swat up on what they bring to the table. I really enjoyed it. So it's sort of a really easy listening, but I think it's also an interesting listen as well. So they're two combinations I tend to enjoy.
I would say this is probably the best song off our list that have been given to us. What an absolute gem. What a frustration that it just missed the Indie Viners review. I mean, they were on hiatus. They've had, band members split, come back, all the rest, but the albums that they've produced when they do release them are absolutely brilliant. So this is one that went through the keeper. We missed it. Thank you, Goran, for letting us know that this is one that should be included. And this particular song is an absolute belter, mate. Cabin in my mind. It's great. I'm going to listen to this album today.
Final one is The Cure, Songs from a Lost World. So this one has come to us from Liam6376. So The Cure, I must admit, I probably am guilty of not listening to them enough. I think there's a lot of people who are influenced by The Cure. This is their first album since 2008, so it's been a little while between drinks for them. I didn't mind it, but I'm probably not the biggest fan, and maybe I need to really immerse myself with The Cure's back catalogue. It was something that I wasn't expecting a Friday I'm in love type of a vibe with the song that I listened to. I thought it was good.
I think it belongs on a soundtrack for an album. I mean, it's got like a 2-3 minute intro, like a build up to the start of the first verse. I think it's really good. It does feel like it's off like the start of an Interstellar or some movie like that. Like the build up to the start of the song is sensational, mate. What a find! It would be in my probably top 3 of this list that we've been given to us by our subscribers today. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. So that's our list for the year of what our viewers are seeing as their top albums of the year. Let us know in the comments if you have any further ideas or whether you've actually discovered something from these lists. I think we certainly have. Let us know in the comments. Let us know what you think, and please have a Merry Christmas.